All right, this morning I have Punch newspaper, I have Vanguard, Premium Times, and Daily Trust. Now, my first take will be from Punch newspaper with this headline: Lagos Calabar Highway. Lagos Calabar Highway project wasteful, corrupt Obasanjo. Tinubu overrules Akonde panel, backs Obasa to remain Lagos speaker. Natasha, IPU can't summon Akpabio, says spokesman. PDP crisis, Wike camp kicks, asks Ikime. Panel recommends Anyanwu expulsion. More news from Punch. Russia downs 77 Ukrainian drones overnight. PDP alleges 200 million bribery as four lawmakers defer to APC. Kenya firm denies stopping late Nigerian TikToker from traveling home. Now, from Metro Plus, we have Kenya firms denies, okay, I've taken that already. 32 convicted of internet fraud in Oyo. Expulsion, technician, 3 others killed in Lagos Mechanic Village. 12 suspects 12 suspects arrested for cable vandalism stealing in Ekiti. 2 Thailand-based Nigerians arrested for cocaine peddling. Now let's move to the nation. National Assembly proposes 35 billion naira capital base for reinsurance firms. Rivers logjam, no truce yet between Fubara lawmakers. Okay, gains of economic policy by Shettima. Answer to arraign arrested IED manufacturers. Ohando picked as preferred bidder for lease of Guaracara refinery in Trinidad and Tobago. Then more news from the nation. Regulatory agencies complicit in expatriate quota abuse in Nigeria. That's coming from Vanguard newspaper. Okay, Rivers. Evans won't fall if Fubara is impeached. That's coming from Wike. Federal government vetting candidate for ambassadorial post 18 months after recall. That's a report. And more news from Vanguard. I have 118 million girls out of school globally. Wow. That's GPE. Okay. More news from Vanguard newspaper. Naira down to 1,585 naira per dollar in parallel market. 7 rescued as troops repair terrorist attack on Governor Zulum convoy. Okay, more news from Vanguard. Nigeria spends $817.4 million to service debt in 2 months. Import bills on used vehicles fall 65% to 354.8 billion naira. Death row inmate rises by 98 in 6 months. Prison Athens CG reveals. Court declines to legalize prostitution, dismisses Abuja sex worker suit. Okay, that's from Vanguard. Now let's move to Daily Post for this morning. From Daily Post, we have this: River crisis. Constituent commence recall proceeding against Amewele. With the rider, a lawyer, Kenneth Amadi, has written to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to commence recall proceedings against the speaker. Wow. Okay, moving on. Another Mieti Allah vigilante member assassinated in Kwara. Edwin Clark's family disowned individuals soliciting funds for late patriarch burial. Okay, now another story from Daily Post. We have why we suspended Senator Natasha. That's coming from Nigeria Senate, right? IPU. Okay, more story from Daily Post. First City Monument Bank FCMB is excited to introduce the Business Empowerment and Sustainability Training Best Masterclass. Okay, now let's move to another newspaper. Let's take another story from another newspaper. Now moving on, let's move to Premium Times for this morning. From Premium Times, we have some story. Notorious bandits terrorizing Abuja, Kaduna killed in shootout. Okay. Kwara Central Senator Saliu Mustafa empowers 2,500 constituents. Now, more news from Premium Times. Defection to APC. Anambra people send message to Valentine Ozigbo. 3,688 inmates on death row in Nigeria, NCOCJ. Fubara insulting Rivers Assembly with useless letters, says Wike. Lassa fever, Nigeria recalls 29 cases, death toll rises to 100. Nigeria's delegate to IPU demands transparent probe into sexual harassment allegations against Akpabio. Tinubu meets reinstated Lagos Speaker Obasa, other Lagos lawmakers in Abuja. Okay, updated. Pro-Wike lawmakers deny Fubara access to Rivers Assembly quarters. It's getting messier. Okay, let's go on a short break, and when we return, it will be time to delve into the details of the news for this morning. This is JDN Radio 101.5 FM. Stay with us. Please don't go anywhere.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on these websites: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, 0707-338-4828, SEC 0209-462-1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
All right, welcome back. In case you're just tuning in, this is JDN Radio 101.5 FM, and this is newspaper review for this morning. My name is Omolola Kalejai Damisa. Okay, this morning, let's go as we have analyst with us this morning who is going to do the analyst proper with us. His name is Comrade Barnabas Faguloye. Good morning, Mr. Barnabas. Comrade Barnabas, how are you this morning?
I'm fine. Good morning, my dear sister.
Good morning.
People listening at home.
Okay, now let's go straight to the business of the day. Let's go with this first headline from Punch newspaper. Lagos Calabar Highway Project wasteful, corrupt Obasanjo. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has described the 15.6 trillion naira Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway project as wasteful and corrupt. He equally slammed the President Bola Tinubu administration for spending 21 billion naira on a new official residence for Vice President Kashim Shettima, calling it a misplaced priority and conduct design and to embezzle public funds. The ex-leader disclosed this in a chapter 6 of his new book, Nigeria, Past and Future, where he painted the portrait and characters of chief executives at both the federal and state levels. The book was one of the two new books unveiled to mark Obasanjo's 88th birthday last week. Now let's take it from here. What's your reaction to this headline this morning?
Obasanjo is father of politics. One of those we can regard as father of politics in Nigeria. But let us come to what he said, that the Calabar Railway project is wasteful and corrupt. Two things there, wasteful and corrupt. Let me take the word wasteful. How is it wasteful? I think it is meant for the people to use, Nigerians to use. So something that is beneficial to Nigerians shouldn't be tagged as wasteful. Then let me take the word corrupt. When we look at the amount of money which the government budget on that particular project is somehow corrupt. I believe with the experience of Chief Segun Obasanjo, having been the president for 8 years, so he knows that such amount is somehow too much.
That means it's outrageous.
Yes, outrageous for that particular project. So we believe that the government, those in power now, should be able to consult their predecessors before they take certain decisions.
Okay.
So for the benefit of us all, we cannot be suffering. Nigerians cannot be suffering, and government will just be wasting funds on something that doesn't worth it.
But don't you think it's for the betterment of the nation as a whole? Since though the money is outrageous, but at least it's when the old coastal highway, when it is all done, don't you think it will also bring some benefit to the nation?
Yeah, it should be of economic development. That is why I don't want to align with the word wasteful. But corruption, when we deal with our government, we know corruption is, they move one-on-one with corruption.
Okay, let's move to another headline from Punch newspaper. Tinubu overrules Akande Pane, backs Obasa to remain Lagos Speaker. President Bola Tinubu has resolved the leadership crisis in the Lagos State House of Assembly, backing the return of Mudashiru Obasa as Speaker, despite an earlier recommendation for his resignation. The resolution came after a meeting between Tinubu and all 40 lawmakers at the presidential villa in Abuja on Wednesday. The president's decision contradicts the recommendations of a panel he has set up to mediate the crisis. The panel, led by former Osun State Governor Chief Bisi Akande and former Ogun State Governor Chief Gbenga Daniel, along with the leadership of the Governance Advisory Council, had advised that Obasa should step down after being reinstated. The Punch report that the panel initially recommended that Mojisola Miranda resign as Speaker to allow for Obasa return, with the understanding that he would also resign shortly after making way for a new Speaker from Lagos West to balance the state structure. Now, this story about Obasa as a Lagos Speaker. Now he's being restated back as the Speaker for Lagos House of Assembly. Now, what are your reaction to this? What are your reaction to how these chaos have gone on? How this chaos has gone on in the Lagos State House of Assembly? What are your reaction to this? What's your take?
In fact, this is a Lagos issue. It's somehow to me. In the first place, who sent Baba Akande, Chief Bisi Akande, and Otunba Gbenga Daniel to go on a mediation panel? You sent them. They came back with a report. These people are experienced politicians. Chief Bisi Akande was the former governor of Osun State. Gbenga Daniel was two-time governor of Ogun State and a Senate, 7 senator. They are both experienced. You sent them. They went there, made everything possible to reconcile them. They brought report to you that, okay, this to stabilize things there, this is what is needed to be done. Then you summon them and make peace and said Obasa should be. To me, why did the president have to wait till this time before calling on them and make peace? What is now going to be the fate of 36 loyal lawmakers that were loyal to Miranda. Now, the president should have called on these people, talk to them. Okay, this is the person we want there. And in fact, there should be legislative independence. The legislature, as an arm of government, should be independent of the judiciary and the executive. To me, I feel like the president uses his power over them. If there is legislative independence, the legislatures have spoken. They decide who they want to lead them. But unfortunately, in Nigeria, we throw everything to the party supremacy. The party should choose for us. No, they choose for themselves. When Azikwe became the ceremonial president, he was not chosen by any political party. He was chosen in the parliament. So there is power in the hand of the parliamentarian, and they should be able to choose who to lead them. So in as much as we did not intervene at the early stage of the crisis, why intervening now that I've sent delegations there? To me, you rubbish the effort of those people you sent to make peace there, despite all their findings. And I want to urge the president also to channel that energy to restore peace in Rivers State. It's the same assembly crisis. He has the power. He has used it in Lagos. He should use it in Rivers for peace to reign.
So what are your thoughts about this local government, the chairman, the legislative in the House of Assembly, and the issue with this being the speaker or the governor, and this has been ongoing for a very long time. What do you think the government, maybe the federal government, should have done?
Still on the Obasa issue, right?
Yes.
Now, Obasa is a citizen of Nigeria, politically an indigenous of Lagos. He has the right to say, okay, I want to become this, to vote and be voted for, to stand as a candidate for election. So he has the right to aspire for the governorship position of the state. So it is not I do not see that one as if he's trying to contest with the leaders anointed whoever. So he has the right. He's a citizen. So either he's becoming governor or not, that shouldn't be the issue. The issue we should face and track out now is how the legislature will discharge their duties effectively.
And Obasa still leading, still being as he has been restated, as the Speaker of the House of Assembly now. And, with the remaining Lagos lawmaker, he now still being the leader of the Speaker of the House of Assembly. And I know there must be they are loyal to some party, to Miranda. Now they are with Obasa. Do you think peace will still continue to reign among these two bodies, this lawmaker and the Speaker of House of Assembly?
I believe peace will still reign, as much as the president, who is has intervened. I believe peace will still reign. So the only thing that can play out is during election, during primary or whatever. So they all have their own followers. So peace will still reign as Miranda herself has resigned openly, and Obasa has been sworn in. He has been restated. So the president has talked to them. Peace will reign, I believe.
Okay, now let's move to another news headline. Natasha, IPU can't summon Akpabio, 6 spokesman. The camp of Senate President Godswill Akpabio has dismissed the authority of the Inter-Parliamentary Union to compel him to appear before his panel over suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan from the National Assembly. Akpabio media aide SMA Yibo made this known in an exclusive interview with The Punch on Wednesday. Akpoti-Uduaghan, who is serving a 6-month suspension, had accused Akpabio of sexual harassment and abuse of power. On Tuesday, she went before the IPU, a United Nations agency, to lodge a complaint against the Nigerian Senate and the Senate President Akpabio. Now, talking about Natasha and the Akpabio saga, this has been ongoing for a while now, and even though Miranda is still on suspension for 6 months, and Akpabio calling now that IPU can't summon Akpabio to come for anything. Now, what are your reaction to this story? Even though Akpabio has not been, investigated, and Miranda now is on suspension. So what are your reaction to this story? What are your reaction?
Well, to me, I believe that Senator Natasha is being proactive. These are interparliamentary union. It is an arm or a branch of the United Nations. And now, Akpabio is being reported. She has gone to report Akpabio. And this portrays a very bad image to Nigeria. Number 3 citizen, the Senate president. So even though the IPU lack the power to summon Akpabio, but this can lead to a kind of a visa ban. Just of recent, the chief of defense staff was banned from entering Canada. If Akpabio is sanctioned by giving him visa ban, that's a slap to the country, an insult. And looking at this now, had it been this thing is not happening to Akpabio, it's happening to someone else, what would the number 3 citizen of Nigeria say? This thing is giving us bad image. Natasha ought not have been suspended at this period. She raised allegation. We are not talking about if the allegation is true or untrue. We don't know. But we are saying not at this stage. It's a trap. Akpabio fell on the trap of Natasha.
Wow. Okay, now, talking about sexual harassment, and these have been ongoing in our country, even from just an ordinary citizen, not to talk of the number 3 citizen of Nigeria. Now, my question is, what do you think this will spell on our democracy in Nigeria?
Just like if you have the power, you can do anything and go away with it. Because to an ordinary person, I believe that people by now should rise to that allegation. But to rise to that allegation does not mean, okay, we should be bullying people, we should resort to cyberbullying, which is wrong under the law. But at least let us investigate what she has raised. Is it true? How can you prove it? Because in my own world, if you allege, you must prove. For you to be able to win anything, in any case, you have to prove it before the court, not by emotions. So if she's able to prove it, fine. Let us treat that. This is a danger. It's a danger to democracy. I mean, it's endangering democracy. Somebody raised allegation of sexual harassment. You overlook it. That's not right at all. We have to go through either if the allegation is right and wrong. And I will suggest to our lawmakers to make a law that will prevent people from raising false allegations. Once you raise false allegations and you are unable to prove it, there should be particular
sanction.
Yes, particular sanction against you, capital sanction.
Okay. The studio line to call is 07048001015, 07048001015, or 08022102163 in case you want to react to any of the story that our analyst here, Comrade Barnabas Faguloye, has just done some justice to. Now let's move to another story from another newspaper. Now let's move to Vanguard with this headline: Rivers, heaven won't fall if Fubara is impeached. That's coming from Wiki. The political crisis in Rivers State took a dangerous turn yesterday as the Federal Capital Territory FCT Minister Chivyesome Wike downplayed reported threat by some Injure-linked militant groups to blow up crude oil pipelines and hold the nation to ransom should Governor Siminalayi Fubara be impeached by the 27 members of the State Assembly loyal to him. Now, with these comments coming from the Minister of FCT Abuja, that's Nyesom Wike, and concerning his predecessor, that's Fubara, that heavens won't fall if Fubara is impeached. What's your take on this headline?
Well, the language is not new in the political arena. When Adams Oshiomhole was a chairman of APC, he went to Osun State during campaign. He went to Osun State during campaign and said heaven will not fall if election is rigged. It's still on social media. Social media does not forget. This I don't think these people remember that whatever they see. some people will keep it for them. The social media will keep it. That is why we need to be careful on what we say, and what we do if we are on air. Now, heaven will not fall, but the history will be there. So in 2000 and was it 2006 or 7? Fayose was impeached in Ekiti.
Yes.
So we have governors like that have been impeached. Heaven did not fall.
Heaven did not fall. Yes.
So they looking at the political upheaval in Rivers, and if Fubara is not careful with this way thing is turning out, he might later end up being impeached.
But do you think this should be just swept under the carpet with this allegation that with this threat that is going to be impeached with the 27 lawmakers, and it just have 4 lawmakers to his side? And how do you think democracy the people of Rivers State can enjoy democracy with these 27 lawmakers and Fubara being a PDP, just a one man to 27 lawmakers?
You asked a very good question as a concerned citizen. I don't think Nyesom Wike and those backing him consider the citizens, governance. People are facing political instability there. You don't even care. This is a state you served as a local government chairman, a state you represent as a minister of state for education.
What are your thoughts about the president, the power to be up there, the federal government? Our president not reacting to any of this, what the crisis that is ongoing in Rivers State?
Well, that's what I just said when you intervened in Lagos crisis. You intervened and don't want crisis in Lagos. You want peace. But there have been crises in Rivers
State.
Why can't the president intervene? By his intervention, he can call the two of them. Let's do it this way, let's do it this way. But of recent now, he had meeting with the Pandev or whatever, he said he should be Supreme Court. Fubara is ready to be Supreme Court. They locked the assembly gate. What is he now going to do?
Okay, let's move to another news before we go. Finally, let's take this story from Vanguard newspaper. Nigeria spends 817.4 million naira to service debt in 2 months. What do you have to say about these debt to service debt and all the loan that have been collected so far by our government? What are they be doing with it? So what are your thoughts about this servicing of debt with what we have now on this newspaper?
Although I'm not a financial expert, but looking at the whole thing, you borrow money, and after you borrow, we now use a huge amount of money to service debt. What do we see now? You removed fuel subsidy, yet we are still borrowing. I don't get. Some things are not clear to Nigerians. And maybe radio stations should do well by inviting people at the realm of affairs there to come and explain that despite the removal of fuel subsidy, you are still servicing loan. Where's the money going? And to what benefit it is to the citizen? Okay, if you talk about minimum wage or whatever, is everyone a government worker? Not everyone. So what are you doing to the citizen? What changes can we see? So I don't understand why we are borrowing and we are still servicing loan. Maybe they should come and explain to us.
Okay, the studio lines to call if you want to react to any of the story that analysts have done some justice to this morning. The studio lines to call is 07048001015, 07048001015, or 08022102163. Or you can do where to join us on Facebook at JGN Radio 101.5 FM. So you can just drop your comment there, then we'll take it off from there. Okay, let's quickly take this story from Premium Times this morning. Notorious bandit terrorizing Abuja, Kaduna, killed in shootout. Now my question is, what do you think the government need to do concerning this terrorizing, kidnapping, collecting ransom? What do you think should be put in place by the security personnel of our dear nation?
In fact, we have government, we have president, who is the commander-in-chief. Now some set of people, nuisance, gather themselves in bush, terrorizing people. Where we have strong army. The president should use his power to crush these people. The president should step on toes to ensure the safety of Nigerians. What is happening in the north is disheartening. You even in those states now, the bandits or so, what are they called? Have surrounded the state, kidnapping people. Just of recent, Eniola Ojajuni, Afenifere youth leader was going to Abuja. It was kidnapped in Ondo State. Yes. Demanding for 100 million naira ransom, and I believe those people will have collected money, though they did disclose.
Though he has regained his freedom.
He has regained his freedom. So the government should come in. By now, we shouldn't hear about bandits. We shouldn't hear about ISWAP in Nigeria. We shouldn't hear about Boko Haram. Thank God we don't have a Hausa president now to say that Hausa is protecting Fulani or Fulani is protecting Hausa. They are protecting themselves. We have a Yoruba president now. So with our Yoruba president, I think we should clutch. Make sure these people is destroyed. You destroy a criminal. You don't play with a criminal. You destroy them.
They should be destroyed.
They should be destroyed. The people should be at peace. Should stay in their homes and sleep in peace. And
I don't know, maybe if you heard about this news about federal government giving amnesty to some kind of a repentant Boko Haram. What are your reactions to this?
And story? this is one of the places I'm having issues with government.
So you think that should stop?
That should stop. I think some of these people will serve as informer to them. How would they repent? They will have killed people, kidnapped, collected ransom. They say they have repented. Then you give them amnesty. You bring them back to the society. Some of them are even recruited to the army. And we are saying we will not have a mole in the army reporting the activities of the army to the bandits.
Okay, our time is fast spent. It's time now for us to go. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Barnabas Fagunloye, for doing this with us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and that is a wrap today on Newspaper Review on JDN Radio 101.5 FM. Do join us tomorrow for another edition of the Newspaper Review. My name is Omolola Kalejaida Misa. By 8 o'clock, it'll be time for Iroyin Afoni. Stay with us and have a blessed day.